is Inside Tameside. I'm Becky Cahill. The headlines: shopfronts destroyed in Glossop, mindless vandalism at a Denton school, and the polls are open. But first, our top story: and a recovery vehicle and the broken down bus it was towing crashed into Glossop town centre shopfronts on Tuesday evening. It happened shortly before 6, with the bus becoming embedded in Padtax taxis and Red Dragon takeaway on Victoria Street. The recovery vehicle ended up wedged between a lamppost and a bank. No one was seriously injured during the collision, but a man in his 30s was taken from the tow truck to Stepping Hill Hospital with minor hand injuries. Several businesses have been affected, and the incident also caused a suspected gas leak. Victoria Street was closed between the junction with the A62 and Turnley Road. Anyone with information about the events leading up to the collision is asked to call Derbyshire Police on 101. Pupils and staff at Denton's St John Fisher Primary School have been left disgusted and upset after the forest school they've all worked so hard to create was destroyed in a mindless act of vandalism. At around 9 p.m. on Monday, Greater Manchester Fire and Rescue Service received reports from Horton Green residents of a fire in the children's garden behind the school. The space is a community area which is open to the public to be shared and enjoyed by everybody. Firefighters found litter and wood had been burned there. The children's forest school had been left in ashes. Their 2 bug hotels were destroyed, along with living logs which were all full of little creatures. Forest school leader Elaine Knight said that it may not have been a lot to a lot of people, but it was a lot to the children. It's local and European election day today. Inside Tameside's James Dean is outside a polling station somewhere in Stalybridge. Where are you, James?
Thanks, Becky. I'm actually outside Stalybridge Fire Station, which is one of the polling stations for today. Coverage on Tameside Radio and Tameside Reporter of the elections. The Tameside Reporter show on Tameside Radio tonight at 10 o'clock will be spotlighting all the candidates and assessing their chances in both elections before results day. Then tomorrow from 11 a.m, the Tameside Reporter team will be reporting live from the count, as the results come in throughout the day, with the final roundup of results at 6 p.m, and there'll also be full results roundup in next Thursday's Tameside Reporter. Back to you, Becky. It's raining a bit here.
2 teachers will be riding into the night for a cancer charity after being inspired by one of their pupils. Denton Primary School's head, Lynn Elliott, and colleague Jill Davies are pedalling 100 kilometres for brave Neve Brown. The 8-year-old from G Cross inspired everyone last summer when we revealed how she was battling back from ovarian cancer. Neve was just 7 when she had an operation to remove a tumour and one of her ovaries. The teaching friends will be nighttime cycling from Windsor Castle into London and back again. They've set up Just Giving pages where people can donate money. The Believe and Achieve Trust, the charity set up in memory of Alex Williams, has been officially launched at Droylsden's Medlock Leisure Centre. Alex contracted meningitis when he was 7 and later campaigned passionately to raise awareness of the illness through the Meningitis Trust, for which he became an ambassador. Inside Tameside was there and spoke to Alex's parents, who launched the charity.
I'm Anna Fletcher here at the Medlock Leisure Centre in Droylsden, here to see the launch of the new Alex Williams charity, the Believe and Achieve Trust. I'm going to speak to Alex's mum and dad, Wayne and Alison, as well as Julie Hesmondhalgh, the patron of the charity.
Our son Alex contacted meningitis when he was 7, and from that day forward he's fundraised for the Meningitis Trust, which was hugely important to him for raising awareness of meningitis and supporting funds. From just over a year ago, Alex passed away suddenly, and we knew then the only way for us to go forward was just to carry on his work, because it was a massive part of his life.
Today's been a sort of launch of the Believe and Achieve Trust, and also sort of the announcement that I'm going to be patron. I'm very, very proud. I knew Alex for many, many years. We met on a trip to Lapland with When You Wish Upon a Star, another brilliant charity. Coronation Street very kindly gave me Hayley's red anorak.
Okay.
So this is the first big fundraiser for the Believe and Achieve Trust, is we're going to auction off the iconic red anorak. The anorak, and it really is. I'm saying it still smells a bit whiffy, it hasn't been washed. And 16 years without a wash. And yes, and we're going to auction that. We've yet to find the right way to do it to get the maximum impact, but it'll be a national a national fundraiser. So we're hoping to get as much money as we can. Yeah. Well, I hope so. We'll see what happens. So of course, I'll watch this space. Yeah.
I'm Anna Fletcher at the Medlock Leisure Centre.
A man has died after falling from a motorway bridge in Denton. Shortly before 7 p.m. on Friday, a 76-year-old man fell from the bridge that crossed the M67 on Seymour Street. He landed on the carriageway into the path of moving traffic. A lorry managed to swerve onto the hard shoulder to avoid him, but a Ford Transit van travelling behind collided with the man. Emergency services attended, but sadly the man was pronounced dead at the scene. 1 week after returning home, unlucky residents near to Dukinfield's new mill had to move out again. Thankfully, it was just for the one night this time. The last tower at the mill was set to be demolished this week. For safety reasons, a handful of residents living nearby were evacuated, and Park Road, which runs alongside the mill, was closed. Residents and businesses operating from the mill were originally evacuated back in February following fears about the structure of the mill after bad storms. And finally, Stalybridge's Civic Hall clock is back in chime and ticking again after a restoration project led by the local town team. They worked together with a number of parties, including a substantial contribution from an anonymous benefactor and another generous donation from Lord Pendry. Town Team Chair Andrew Stevenson thanked those involved in helping restore the clock and for the financial contributions. He said that a clock that you can rely on is a mark of a town proud of itself. You can read all about these stories and more in this week's Tameside Reporter and Glossop Chronicle. That's the latest. I'm Becky Cahill.